Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back. FPL has returns. Game week 17. We are pretty much excited to be here. There will be three panelists today. My name is Hafiz and I'll be joining by first like to welcome back Azmin. How's your break?
Good. Managed to watch the World Cup, managed to have a short holiday, and managed to break my tooth and get it fixed in that whole time. So yeah, good. Yeah, pretty good
All right, pretty good break that we can hear from Azmin.
break.
Secondly, would like to invite Afos. How are you, brother?
Fine. Good. So far, so good. Really enjoyed our what we call FPL break and also the World Cup, especially the finals. Full
All
of
right,
suspense, very nervous.
okay, all right. Maybe we talk a bit about World Cup since yes, recently has played the finals and also maybe for the past 1 month we have been experienced this. So what can you share, Azmin? Maybe a bit. What's the best thing about World Cup this season?
The best thing, wow, there's quite a few things, I guess for many fans, it's really about Messi finally completing and getting the last thing that he needed on his, well, not a resume, but more like his, achievements. And he's finally got that. Unfortunately, that also means that his erstwhile rival did not. So which but honestly, it was always going to be hard for Ronaldo to really complete that because the Portugal squad just never had the same quality. They would have had to really, be fortunate in order for Ronaldo. And truth be told, Ronaldo did. He was nowhere as influential as Messi was for Argentina. Other than that, it was great to see Morocco really upset the apple cart and do really well on the way before finally getting losing to France 2-0, where the quality finally um, outclassed the effort. Um, and finally, the other thing is that final that final was one of World Cup's finals that will go down in as one of the great World Cup finals, from a expected loss to Argentina, equalizing
Yep.
and so on. So it was great to see.
So can we say
And
Messi
yeah, I've
is now
lost everyone.
officially, or maybe we lost Azmin. But maybe I go to Afos first. Thrilling final World Cup, France against Argentina. So what you can sum up on the finals itself?
Basically before the World Cup started, we are expecting that it will be the Messi versus Ronaldo game, you know. But the thing is that Portugal did not really did perform well in a way. But in the end, the finals is all about Messi versus Kylian Mbappe. So yeah, of course we're hoping that Messi will win the World Cup and finally get his what they call World Cup trophy. But really didn't expect the game to be very much open, the tough game, tough fight, full time all the way to extra times and during penalty shootout, the Emi Martinez really played mind games there.
Okay.
I think it's very enjoyable enjoyable game. I'll say the best what called World Cup finals
So
so far. In my opinion.
can we say Messi has won all? So he's the greatest of all. What do you think, Azmin?
Um,
And Afos?
yeah, so far, yeah, hands down, he's the greatest of all time at the moment.
All right. Okay, good stuff. I feel you also played World Cup fantasy during the break. So How you did, Afos?
Yeah, my final rank is 63,000 something, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, overall, there's yeah, overall, I would say I was expecting that is either Argentina or France to win the World Cup with a clean sheet, but I did not expect that it'll be an open game. Same goes to the third and fourth place in Croatia versus Morocco. Morocco really outstanding. They played an open game. They did not like for example not play so much focusing on defense, really full on attacking. Yeah, both teams, Croatia and also Morocco. I was expecting that either one had a clean sheet, but it turns out to be an open game. So yeah, third and fourth placing as well and World Cup finals, really, really good game. And overall, the World Cup fantasy in terms of defending points is did not contribute much, but Messi and Mbappe really puts on a lot of points there.
Yeah, so I hope you had fun during this World Cup Fantasy. How about you, Azmin? You're also playing World Cup Fantasy, right?
Oh, I had fun. I guess I started off badly in the first round, and then I started actually getting better second, third, and
Yep.
during the first round of 16. But after that, I really started going wild in my choices, and really, and really, I mean, even at the semifinals, I just decided to back Morocco to win over France and Argentina to lose. so so yeah, yeah, that semi I totally got the whole thing wrong. But I guess I wasn't too worried at the time because I knew that even those semi-finals, but they will still play the third, fourth
Yeah,
playoffs.
exactly.
So which would mean they would still have most of the plays. And surprisingly, yeah, most of they both teams still played with a relatively strong squad. So it was still important despite a lot of people thinking that people weren't gonna play with the same intensity, but they did. It was that third place playoff was just as much fun to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Really,
So basically, World Cup is over. We are back to business. FPL is going to return in 1 week time. So let's we dwell in on that. Okay. In terms of we getting back into the groove. Okay. I'm pretty sure we are losing touch a bit on these LPL things, but it's good to we have this stream and we can discuss further. So we have some talking points for today's stream. Okay, where we shall see back, we review back, or we have a look back at the top performers as far as game week 16 or the first half of the season. Who are the performers? And we go each by each department, okay? And then we also has been announced of the double game week during the World Cup, with the World Cup break, where we had three so-called game week that has been announced. We have going to play twice. Later we touch a bit on that. After the based on the double game week announcement, what's the fixture ticker is looking at, which team that we should be focusing, and who can actually offer the best value of player in terms of we are having unlimited transfer right now before we go live in game week 17. And then we have a look at the game week 17 fixture. The captain pick, if I may see, if there is other option, there's Haaland, but we know Haaland and Salah have been rested during this season, this World Cup break. So basically, they should be up and running for this game week 17. And then we have a look at our team draft so far. Okay, so that's the menu for tonight's stream. Let's jump straight. First, we have a look at the top performer at a glance. Who are scored the most points? The top three, which is maybe it's not surprising. Haaland is actually the most top performer with 123 points, and is now being selected by 82.9%. So almost everyone have Haaland in the squad. Okay, so he looks essential. He's undroppable. He must be in your team. Okay, And then the second one, I don't know whether this is a surprise or not, is actually another forward that we've been talking about early of the season between those two. Which one we gonna pick? Looks like both of the players has been performing well to be the top two performer after game week 16. 102 points scored by Harry Kane, no other than the English captain, but he's merely selected by only 27.3% managers. The third one, I'm not sure whether it's a surprise one. It's a defender, but he's I think most valued player right now. Kieran Trippier is still at 5.9 million. If I'm not mistaken, his starting price is 5 million at the beginning of the season. He has total points of 96 points and has been selected by 65% of managers. So we touch a bit on these top three players so far. I go to you first, Azmin. There is no KDB or the likes of Salah in here, but the forwards are conquering the top three. So what's your first reaction to this?
I guess with Haaland is no surprise, is it? And it shouldn't be a surprise, especially to me, who was stubbornly without Haaland for a decent amount of weeks. And of course, after I get him, and then he probably gets injured. Which is kind of funny. Haaland has been quite a revelation. He got in quickly despite playing in the Community Shield, and then there were doubts whether he would be better than Darwin, but Haaland has shown that with the right people around him, he's brilliant. He's crazy, and that City squad is just built to ensure they get the most out of Haaland. So it's no surprise at all. I'll skip Harry Kane first and just jump to Trippier. This is something that I don't mind saying that I kind of expected it would happen, because I was quite bigging up Newcastle this season, and Trippier, we know he's also a set piece specialist, and with the strengthening of Newcastle's backline, he's been one of the more steady accumulators of points, that in terms of defense. Okay, so for Harry Kane, I think the problem with Harry Kane is that there's so much competition for the forward spots. Yeah, so that's why even now you can see his selection is not as big. Where pretty much everyone has a spot for Haaland, and then if you're trying to squeeze in Salah, it's going to be even hard to have someone like Harry Kane. So, but he has surprised, and he's also partially responsible for me improving in the past few weeks before the World Cup. It's thanks to picking up Harry Kane. Yeah. So.
Okay. I go to Afos first. I think Afos is much more a fan of Harry Kane because he actually had a good experience with Harry Kane. He has a lot of time, Harry Kane, in your squad. Yeah? Afos, I'm not sure this season how's your view on Harry Kane. Looking at this at a glance, do you feel that we should pay attention more of Harry Kane to be in our game week 17 team, Josh?
Okay, Harry Kane. To be honest, for this season, Harry Kane has been quite good, quite excellent performance. I would say it's just that Haaland is a different monster for this season.
Yep.
Yeah, he started off I think like triple hat trick, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. If Haaland is not in EPL this season, I'll think that a lot of managers will have Harry Kane. He's scored like 12 goals so far, if I'm not mistaken. 12 goals in 16 games. So that is.
Okay, so just a quick Haaland 14 goals, Harry Kane 9 goals, something like that.
Harry, yeah. I mean he still performs. Right? Just that Haaland is a different type of
Level.
mentioned earlier monster. Just that City will bid to fit Haaland, and also he's a type of striker that in the right place at the right time. So yeah.
Okay, that's
pretty much covers it.
Maybe we jump
okay,
before we jump. Yep. Before we jump to the next session, I would like to welcome Rakan FPL to the stream. Thank you for supporting our stream and keep your question coming. Later we try to answer all your question. Let's go a bit deep dive a bit where I actually extract based on position. Goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, top 5 of every section. And at a glance, whether you're surprised or not, 3 of Newcastle player are topping on the goalkeeper, defender and midfielder section. They are the top performer. They have been producing the players that we might overlook. Forward, we are not questioning anymore. Haaland is the top one. But maybe we touch a bit on the goalkeeper side. Pope is actually the highest scoring player with 70 points. Pope priced now at 5.3 million and over of next is Henderson at 4.7. I think Henderson has been a crucial member for Azmin team. Okay, and maybe if we trust more playing Henderson the whole this 16 week, he got 67 points from Henderson himself, right? And the likes of Alisson maybe not so much because of the price, but Raya is there in the top 4, and then Sa, yeah. And then we go on the defender side. Trippier is the number 1, but we have 2 Arsenal defenders there. So maybe it's not a surprise because Arsenal are in the top of the league right now, and they have the best defense so called because they have 2 defenders in the top 3 right now, other than Cancelo and Shaw. 2 Newcastle defenders and 2 Arsenal defenders are in the top 5 in terms of goalkeeper and defender section. Maybe we deliberate on this goalkeeper and defender section first, Azmin. What do you think? Newcastle is the one that we need to target?
Oh, definitely. I think Newcastle. Well, obviously Trippier. I think. Does anyone not have him? I bet you all 3 of you have him at this restart. Because one thing is, of course, for the World Cup, Trippier was definitely at the World Cup. But if you remember, in the 3rd game, Walker came in, so he didn't get much play time anymore. So in a way that he's pretty much fit, and he's raring to go. So he'll be okay, and maybe he'll also be slightly annoyed that he was immediately offloaded for Walker. So that might push him into a more stronger performance. So yeah, definitely, I would look into having Pope as one of your goalkeepers if you can afford, unless you try to look at having more Newcastle attackers instead. So Newcastle definitely it. Henderson, of course, as a Henderson user, I'm very happy. Yeah, he has helped me, soften the bit about not having Haaland. so with some saving penalties it's quite unusual, but fun, but scary at the same time.
Okay.
But yeah. The rest are a bit of a mixed kettle because you have got Alisson, but Liverpool aren't doing too well. But he's surprisingly still up there. On the defender side, I just want to point out Arsenal. 2 of Arsenal's defenders are on that list, which goes a bit. And of course, Cancelo and Shaw. And the most noticeable for me in that defense list is that there's no Liverpool defenders there, which was not the case in seasons ago.
Yeah. So maybe Afos, what do you think about these stats for goalkeeper and defender? Which interests you?
Yeah, for goalkeepers and defenders, during my first wildcard, I had Pope and Trippier. That is to double up Newcastle defend. Yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah, Trippier pretty much everyone has it, but Pope, most people settle down with slightly cheaper price for goalkeepers. Few had Raya. I think Hafiz had Raya, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. If I may recall, when I wildcard, I decided not to go for Raya and got Guita. But in the end, actually, Raya during that period, is it game week 9 onwards until 16,
Mhm.
actually Raya scored more points than Yugita, to
More
be
points
fair.
than yeah.
And in terms of my pick, I should have trust Raya more than Guita, but that's how is it.
Yeah, yeah. During that point, I was thinking that to have a cheaper goalkeeper, maybe it's either the like of Henderson or Raya, because Henderson, like just now Azmin said, I think my opinion is that high risk, high reward. The moment he saved penalty, he scored a huge point. But you know, Nottingham Forest considered a lot of goals, so one of few game weeks he just scored 1 or 0 points, and the moment he
Yep.
saved penalty, he scored like double digits, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, during that time I tried to squeeze a bit, then I'll be able to have hope. So might as well just to double up defend Newcastle defend with Trippier. So that's the point I got
So,
pretty
so
much
what's your feeling now?
excited.
Are you going to continue with Pope, or are you going to venture out with a lower price goalkeeper?
Yeah, moving forward, now that we have unlimited transfer for game week 17, I might go for cheaper goalkeeper because I tried to squeeze bit in terms of overall squad pricing. So
Okay.
can't squeeze Pope that much, so I have to
Okay.
settle down a little bit cheaper goalkeeper.
Later,
Yeah.
later we shall see your team. Okay. We go to midfielder section, main. Would you be surprised? Almiron is the top scoring midfielder. Has been a real revelation for Almiron for the past maybe 6-7 weeks back, where he scored and assist goals, and he got 93 points, 3 points more than Mr. KDB, and 11 more points than Mohamed Salah. So he's topping the premium players. So what do you think about Almiron? Should we get him in without question?
Okay, so as a proud owner of Almiron before the World Cup, of course I picked him in. Like I think it was 3 weeks into his um, run of games, and he also helped me to recover. And let's remember that his country did not go to the World Cup, so he's raring to go. So if you were to look at the Newcastle team sheet, yeah, definitely. Of course, there's a case to consider between Isaac and Wilson. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in terms of the injuries with the Isaac is okay, because Wilson got himself injured again during the World Cup, despite not really playing much. Not surprising. But when you look at the people around him, you've got Fraser and Saint Maximin, and then there's a bit of doubt as to who's going to get that start, And then through it all, we've seen some changes when ASM came back. Will he displace players like Fraser or Willock, for example? But Almiron has always been there, and he's been on fire. So definitely, Almiron's a cheap pick that you can just slot in easily. I mean, look at that. Looking at that top performance, he's at 5.8. He's the
Clean,
cheapest on that top five. So why not? Yeah.
All right. Okay. Anything else to mention about this midfielder section, Afos, Almiron, or any other like
Yeah.
Trossard, Martinelli you want to touch?
One of the regret for this season is not having Almiron,
Okay, understand.
that's the moment that my overall rank started to go downhill. I thought it would be like, yeah, it's just one of these two games, but it turns out that he scored like every week an assist all the way. And also, I think one of the game week, because I already triple up Newcastle, I already have Pope, Kane, and
Uh,
Trippier. Then I brought in Wilson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wilson. Then
And
Almiron just started
Wilson
to
and his
score points.
illness.
Yeah, exactly. So then Almiron started to score points every week. So I can't do it just to watch it every week. Another one I would like to point out is that De Bruyne. De Bruyne is still essentially City. We thought that, yeah, he we want to settle for slightly cheaper city like Foden, but the moment I swap De Bruyne to Foden did not start the game at a certain place. So I think the top two, Anwar and De Bruyne is one essential. Of course, you can fit in Salah, sure why not? But I think the midfielder spot is either De Bruyne or Salah in most everyone teams.
So we can see the team selection or ownership around 37%, 35% Almiron, 37% KDB, Salah 32%. So if you want to fit in, everybody is trying to fit in this player. I think it's viable if you go one of them, KDB, Almiron, Salah, Almiron. But we shall see what your team will looks like. We go to the next one, forward lineup. Haaland and Kane we already touched. But how about Tony as the third most highest scoring forward with 83 points over Jesus or Firmino with 69 points. And Tony has reminded me, I got Tony definitely at the wrong time. I got him, he got yellow carded, I take him out, and he scored 2 goals against Man City at the last game of Gameweek 16, man. He reminds us how powerful he can be even with the top team.
Yeah, he arguably you could say that he's a bit fixture proof in that respect, and I guess when you look at that strikers list, remember how we were trying to squeeze in our forwards, and we know that one person who could have been there but isn't because he ended up getting injured after a crazy run, which is Mitrovic. Yeah, so Mitrovic definitely would have earned the right to be in that top 5. Then you look at someone like Firmino, who no one expected. Jesus, yes, we've got a lot of people had him as because he transferred to Arsenal as well, but no one expected Firmino to help save Liverpool, arguably, and pop up with all these important goals and rescue Liverpool for having an even worse season if he had not scored those goals. So, yeah, it's a surprise, but I don't expect Firmino to continue once Liverpool's strongest squad comes back.
All right. What's your feeling, Afos? Tony Jesus, we heard that he's going to be a layoff for a while after his injury with Brazil. But Tony, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think Tony is the Tony's price bracket is the right spot, but at his spot is a tough spot to go with the likes of I think Mitrovic. I think most people prefer Mitrovic because it is slightly cheaper. But I have the same feeling with you, Hafiz, because we transferred him out during the 5 yellow card, and then it's only 1 week, Game week 16. So after that is a World Cup break. Then we have unlimited transfer. So yeah, we can bring him later on. But he got double digit for that one.
Yeah, I can understand it.
See. So
all right, okay. I think this is the overall perspective on what player that performing Game 16 top 5 for every section or department. Okay, so we can deliberate more what kind of player that you might have thinking. But maybe just a bit before we go to the next topic. Min, what do you think? Is this break or World Cup break will break the momentum, the likes like Arsenal, Newcastle? Should we worry on that kind of break? It's like starting back, playing football after a long break. So what do you think? It will
I agree. I do think there is a disruption to momentum, to teams rather than individual players, because when it comes to teams, we have to consider that people who have been to the World Cup, versus players who didn't. Obviously there's some. If you look at this list, there's some crazy people who ended up not going, who are on form, which is Haaland, Almiron, and arguably Salah in terms of popularity, and all these three. I could argue Firmino as well, but but whether or not we should pick them, you'd have to take a look at the squad around them. Are they back to full strength? And also players who are playing against teams who will not have their full strength back is something that we could exploit. So we can take a look at that later.
All right. So we jump straight to the next second topic, which is the double game week announcement during the World Cup break, where we now know in game week 19, Chelsea and Fulham will play twice, where Chelsea will face Man City at home and away to Fulham, and Fulham will face Leicester away plus Chelsea. Then on game week 20, we might have double game week where Man City and Spurs will play twice, but the caveat is it's also subject to FA Cup third round replays. I did not know FA Cup third round can have a replay. We just finish the game and not play replay, please, because there will be a lot of fixtures coming up. But that could be the thing. If they say Man City and Spurs play replay, they will not have this double game week. If not, they will proceed as planned. And then in double game week 23, and again Man City and Arsenal will play twice. So as a start, Afos, I go to you first. What we can take from this announcement? What attracts you?
Yeah, of course, based on this double game week fixtures and teams, City is the one attracted the most for me. I think most teams will definitely have triple up City, and the other one is Arsenal. Arsenal for sure they wanted to maintain their top position. Having double game week 23, I think the likes of maybe Ramsdale or Saliba or Gabriel, since Arsenal already have good clean sheet defending record, so one or two defenders from Arsenal might go in there. Also, the likes of Fulham, Mitrovic, and Mitrovic is the third spot for forward, the one attracted me the most from this lineup.
Okay.
For Spurs and Chelsea, I don't feel much because I don't think. Yeah, Chelsea has a strong lineup, but in terms of overall game, it doesn't look as stable as before. And for Spurs, the one performing is only Harry Kane. I don't think I can squeeze him in. So yeah, that's my thoughts for this double game week.
Okay. So I go to Azmin. Afos did mention by looking at this announcement, Man City as it looks that we need to have 3 players in our squad. So what about your opinion when coming to this 19, 20 and 23rd announcement?
Yeah, I agree with most of what Alpha says. Yeah, definitely Manchester City continues to be the team to target. Of course, we have to, we'll see how the squad is upon coming back. But of course, we've it's pretty much Haaland and maybe Cancelo and someone else. But definitely, with all the games in hand for Manchester City, we should invest in at least 2 players. In terms of you mentioned Spurs, so I'll still hold judgment, I guess, at the moment, because who knows, we may see a much rejuvenated Spurs. I don't know. Again, we don't know in terms of the reset, because they do place Brentford and Aston Villa, which arguably gives them a springboard before that game week 20 match. But it depends. I guess later on, if we look at matches, the thing with Spurs though is that if you for those who are looking at picking up Spurs, you've got 2 of their key players who were involved in the final, which is Lloris and Romero.
Romero,
on both sides, Christian Romero. So we definitely won't see them back for this weekend's matches confirmed, One's probably depressed, the other one's still celebrating in the Argentina streets. So yeah. But at the top of it, got a very frustrated Harry Kane as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are just examples of things to think about. So
Yep.
we'll have to wait and see.
These are the things that we need to put in
Consider.
our mind, just okay, when we thinking about this player. But I think I agree with Alphonse. If let's say you want to go to Spurs player, maybe the Harry Kane is the one that we are really want to put concentration. Other than that, the like Perisic, he plays like until third and fourth placing
Yeah.
game. He plays like 7 games in
Yeah.
that 1 month period. So I'm not sure whether it will take
There
a
is
toll.
one guy who didn't go, which is Kulusevski, and we know he
Yeah,
did make a difference to Spurs when he came on after being injured for a while. So, but yeah, let's see what shape that Spurs team
Okay.
is in.
Just for me, after looking at this, I'm targeting the closest double game week because that may be the one that we can plan when we want to talk about the unlimited
Which one?
transfer.
Sorry.
Game week 19 is the nearest to our unlimited transfer because 17,
Mm.
18, and then 19 is the nearest. And to be fair, maybe the likes of Chelsea and Fulham, that the one that we can somehow plan. We know that Man City we should have 3, but we still can have open discussion, open mind when deciding. Haaland is the one. Maybe Cancelo is the second one. The third one, if like let's say you like the likes of KDB, you lock him as the third player. But if you're still feeling whether KDB against Foden, you want to decide, you still have time until the game week 20 to decide which players are performing or coming back to form. So that's what I feel. Okay, we go to the fixture ticker based on the double game week announcement. We can see that I just put fixture from 70 up to 23, which we know the double game week announcement is Man City on top. Like you mentioned, we have Leeds and Everton. Then they play Chelsea, okay, and then they potentially have double game week in 20. Manchester United and Spurs, and then somewhere there 23 Aston Villa and Arsenal. That's why they are on top. Second is Chelsea. They have double game week in 19. But prior to Man City match, they have like quite decent match against Bournemouth and Forest. So maybe there is a shout for us to think Chelsea player to put in our squad of this unlimited transfer. Then Fulham have decent match before the game week 19 fixture, double game week. Crystal Palace and Southampton at home before Leicester and then play Chelsea. So I feel for these three are among that our conversation when deciding the players that we want to put in. The next one, Southampton, maybe people don't want to talk about that. We always talk about Southampton, the likes of JWP. Okay, Azmin has this. They have decent fixture coming up until 23 if you want to consider any of the asset. But Southampton, as we know, the new managers, Danny Jones, we might not sure how the lineup will be. Okay, and then Arsenal on the 5th with the double game week 23 announcement. But Arsenal, we have more double game week after coming up. There will be another 11 matches to be rearranged for this double game week announcement. So maybe I go to Azmin first. But this fixture ticker.
Yeah, definitely. When you look at that Chelsea, there's definitely some possible options to be had there. Although let's remember that Chelsea haven't exactly been great. We got Graham Potter doing some. Let's see whether or not he's been able to use the break to figure out how to get the best out of his players. But of course, you're working with a lot of players who aren't there, and if you remember, at one point, some of Chelsea's players were standing out in the World Cup, but these were all fringe players, Pulisic, Ziyech.
Yeah.
Then there was also, I think Koulibaly was even
Yep.
Koulibaly was man of the
Yeah.
match at one point. So it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea's lineup changes. But it's a bit risky to pick Chelsea players because considering the form and considering the events of the World Cup, not sure how Potter's trying to find his best first 11. So there is that level of risk there. City, of course, again, similarly, obviously they are great. They got a great team, but we have to see who's gonna ready to start. But it looks like they should be okay. But one thing to remember, for like the likes of Manchester City and probably other teams like Liverpool, is the fact that before this game week 17, they have Carabao Cup matches, which is
which
the
is gonna
round of
play
the
the
16.
next 2 days, right? I think this midweek.
Yeah, tonight and tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tonight, tomorrow night, and Thursday night. So and the biggest of all, there are two matches two matches that are playing. Premier League sides playing against each other. One is Newcastle versus Bournemouth. So that makes that Chelsea match look more interesting. If Bournemouth put up a strong side against Newcastle, then Chelsea has the potential to whack Bournemouth there. But the other match is Manchester City versus Liverpool,
Yeah.
which is huge. And you'd expect. I've seen a couple of friendlies and KDB was playing. He's already back in the starting lineup, and so is Darwin. So we got these players back from the disappointed players from the World Cup. They want to prove a point, especially KDB. If you remember, he got into a tiff with members of his squad. He wants to show, obviously, when surrounded by his City power, it's got to be a different story, isn't it?
I'm interested to see the lineup. This Carabao Cup, we will give a glimpse of how it can be for the next match in Game 17, which will be on Monday. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go to Afos. I want to touch about his team, Manchester United. Manchester United has 3 decent fixture, to be fair. Favorite fixture: Forest home, away to Wolves, and Bournemouth at home before they welcoming Man City and game week 20. So what do you feel, Afos? Should we consider more on Manchester United asset, especially the likes of Bruno and Rashford, since Ronaldo is no longer there?
I don't know about Manchester United assets for FPL at the moment, but I think that if I want to have an MU player, I would pick Dalot. Dalot as one of the defender, as a third or fourth player defender. And also another one is if I have difficulty to pick the third spot for forward, I might pick Anthony Martial, because previously he has good form. He played well, but just that he got injured here and there. But I think he's back, and he also, I think one of the previous game he scored one, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's good. If I'm not mistaken, Martial did start, but he actually hovered off against Fulham, so there is the prone of injury for Martial. He's there, but if he fits, I think he's more incapable to do something in the next 3 matches. And he's actually below 7 million
players from Manchester.
Okay. Want to touch a bit. Next one is actually overall fixture. Game week 70 up to 38 by Holly Shen. It's actually, I got it from Holly Shen Twitter, where we can see the back-to-back matches and only one international break that will come somewhere in March. But the rest, you can see here a very packed schedule that this player are going to have, where we can see that game week 17, okay, and then which starts next Monday, and then midweek. Yes, and then the other one is game week 18 before double game week 19, and then squeeze between the FA Cup third round, and then we can see the double game week 19, or it can actually be involvement with EFL Cup quarter final. So we can see the fixture are coming thick and fast, and there's the potential of rotation and so on. So maybe Azmin, what your quick review on this? I think my first thinking when we see that, there's a lot of matches going to coming up for the next.
It's a crazy lot, and this is from excuse me. This is pretty much the impact of the World Cup. So I didn't blame the World Cup for being run in the middle of the season for the first time. So yeah, it is what it is, and it's going to be tough. but there's going to be lots of opportunities, and it makes for a very challenging game, FPL game, because it will mean that popular players may end up suddenly randomly getting benched. So the room to exploit that, if you do it correctly, is huge. You can really make grounds here. So I'm excited. I'm that type of person who doesn't like the normal flow. So I enjoy this disruption.
I go to our first, since Ms. Azmin did mention that maybe there are a lot more rotation. Should we actually consider our bench player? We have three, right? Should we actually put three bench players, which is playable players, instead of just maybe one of them is not a playing player? What your on this?
Yeah, but thought exactly having a good strong bench and a full squad depth really important for this time around, because we are expecting a lot of rotation. We don't know whether all the main player like KDB suddenly get rested. So yeah, all the three bench players should be picked, the ones starting and also playable throughout all the games. We can't really afford not to have any players to not play in one of those game weeks. Yeah, I agree. To have a
Okay.
full squad depth and strong bench is important.
All right, fair. We go to the next topic, which is the Game Week 17 fixture. We can see there the next Game Week 17 will play on Monday itself, on Boxing Day. The first kickoff, Brentford versus Spurs at 8:30 p.m. Malaysia time, and then 11 p.m. we have Crystal Palace versus Fulham, the London Derby match. Everton versus Wolves. Everton will welcome the new manager in charge for Wolves, Jose Lopetegui, coming to Everton. Hopefully Lampard will still be there. We then have Leicester versus Newcastle, another interesting match. Rodgers versus Howe, and then Southampton will entertain Brighton coming to their town. And then on Tuesday or Monday night itself, like 1:30 a.m., Villa versus Liverpool. It's an interesting match. Emery will be in charge for this match. I think the third match he's will be in charge, welcoming Klopp to the town. And then Arsenal versus West Ham. So an intriguing match. We can see whether Arsenal can continue their dominance in terms of league. And then we have on Wednesday Chelsea versus Bournemouth, and then Manchester United versus Forest, and we close up Game Week 17 with Leeds welcoming Man City to their turf. So there's pretty much a lot of favorite matchup. If you can see, we can see the Newcastle facing Leicester. We can see also Liverpool, Villa is going to be tough. Maybe on paper, with Emery in town. Arsenal versus West Ham, maybe. But Chelsea, Bournemouth, and Manchester United playing for us at home should be on their advantage. And then we know Man City versus Leeds can be a high scoring game. So Azmin, what your first thought on this game is 17 fixture?
Okay, I'd like to bring everyone's attention to Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest. So obviously, so just now you were talking about Manchester United earlier, and the biggest problem with Nottingham Forest will have against Manchester United is the fact that Dean Henderson will not be playing goalkeeper for that match, and we know.
Yeah.
Well, I personally know how important Dean Henderson is in terms of making all those saves.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be there. So definitely there's some exploitation options to be had there. Definitely. Other than that,
I just want to point out, I think Mr. Hegelo also did mention this as
Okay.
and said cannot play weekend against Manchester. Spot on.
Yeah. So thanks, Mr. Hegelo. So that's the main thing. And just now we were worried about Manchester City and
Leeds United, is it?
Manchester City playing Liverpool in the Carabao Cup on Thursday night. But it's fine because for Manchester City, because look, their next match is like the following Thursday, so it's pretty much a week after. So it's just like regular week, so no harm. But of course, that does mean the weekends matches for Game Week 18 is really could be really close. So something to think about. Another one is Brentford versus Spurs. So remember we were talking about Spurs not having that defense. That's where Tony could really do something there, and I think it's something to think about.
Think about.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay. Good things to point out. Afos, what interests you?
I think all games are interesting, because like as been mentioned way earlier during our start of the show, is that we will see whether or not all these teams continue their form, or having the World Cup break will disrupt the whole team chemistry or performance. Yeah, all the what you call we like now we have unlimited transfers, so we are back to the players form before the World Cup. So we have that mindset. We don't know whether or not, like for example, Almiron, who scored every week an assist. We don't know whether or not will continue his form against Leicester for this week 17, like Tony against from Brentford. He scored 2 goals. Let's see whether or not he continued his form before the World Cup break. So yeah, basically all games pretty much exciting for me. Yes.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. We go to the next one. Captain Pick. We know or people will definitely going for Haaland, but I don't have any poll, but I'll just lay out here. There's a lot of favorite matchup that we can go. We can go to Man City, Leeds versus Man City. Haaland is there. Liverpool, if we trust Liverpool, Darwin or Salah can be your captain pick that week. Manchester United Forest, like as I mentioned, maybe Rashford, maybe the likes of Bruno can be your captain for that week. Arsenal versus West Ham, Saka, Martinelli, with Jesus not around, maybe Nikita will start that game and you could actually punt on him. If you trust Chelsea, Asset, Havertz, Mount, or even James can be the one that you go, Chelsea versus Bournemouth, and then Almiron there. Okay, I'm talking about his form before the World Cup break. He could be actually a good punt against Leicester. So Azmin, what do you think?
Haaland. Next.
Yeah, no argument there.
I guess not question people with captain him with the World Cup break.
Yeah, okay. Well, for the sake of argument, considering I'm the guy who rebelliously didn't have Haaland, but I see that insaf Haaland. But because take for example Chelsea, it really is a wait and see for them. You're definitely not going to pick captaincy despite the favorable matchup. Arsenal, they've lost Jesus. So he's although he doesn't necessarily score the goals, but he's quite key to the setup. And Martinelli, of course, is one of the best this season, but are we going to captain him? It's pretty hard not to see that. So Martial, again, not expensive. Are we going to trust him? Of course, I'll let you figure that one out. So it is between Haaland and Salah because Salah also didn't play the World Cup. Yeah, but Aston Villa, let's remember that they're under a new manager, which is Unai Emery. And I can see him doing some good things, but the good thing about captaining Salah against Aston Villa is that they're not going to be having their first choice keeper either. Mr. Dance Man Martinez. Yeah, so that's something to think about. So I'd say Salah, but I'd say still Haaland overwhelming first choice, but Salah is an intriguing choice if you want to try to be slightly different.
Okay, I understand. How about you, Afos? Are you thinking? No question. Is Haaland all the way?
Yeah, no question. Same view like Azmin just now, because Haaland have 83% of ownership. I think it's just crazy not to captain him, especially Leeds conceded a lot of goals. I think he ranked top 5 in goal conceded this season. So yeah, especially with Haaland's performance is just crazy not to captain him. If it is a close call, I would captain Salah if it is a close call. But at the moment, Haaland for game week
All right.
17.
Afas, just
Yes.
a aside, I don't know if you saw, because I did send Hafiz this picture, this
Ah.
video of Haaland missing playing with his mates, especially KDB. So we kept on like, can't wait to play, can't wait to score goals with my team.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
With the highest ownership of 82%, like we
82.
mentioned,
Woo.
and people will
Yeah.
definitely captaining Haaland. If you fail, Haaland scored a brace or a hat trick, yes, the ranking will definitely kills you. But I just put here as a for us to debate on it. But yeah, more or less we are gonna go for Haaland anyway. We go to the team draft. At last, Azmin, maybe you can walk through what your team draft would be so far.
Okay, first clearly is the triple Newcastle thing. So I have gone for Pope, Trippier, and Almiron. Just a quick one there to show you. That's my initial draft and initial thoughts. Uh, I'm leaning at having Pope for the rest of the season, but then, well, at least until the next wildcard. But of course, that means I'm sacrificing a possible attacking slot. So I need to decide whether that's what I want. Because Trippier and Almiron are pretty much lock-ons for me at this point in time. Just a quick one. So we got Pope, but then I got Ward as my second keeper, and it's really out of price more than anything else, because I would like Henderson there, although which he won't play for the this coming back, but after that, he's still a reliable choice. Okay, then you have Cancelo, a guy again, just like Trippier, or someone who's disappointed after being left out of the last couple of lineups. So I think he might be one of those wanting to prove a point. So you got Robertson. So he again, I'm still more him over TAA at this point. Okay, so
I like that Robertson pick, to be fair.
in terms of, so I mentioned Cancelo, the triple up is KDB and Haaland. So sorry, I haven't. The captaincy should be on Haaland, not KDB. But but KDB is there again. KDB, just like Cancelo and Trippier, they probably wanting to prove a point and show that they are better. Martinelli, of course, I don't think any of us have ditched him with such a huge discount. Ramsey, I brought him because he's cheap. Although at this point in time, I may put Andreas, who I've got there as a first sub in front of Ramsey, and put Ramsey on the bench. But I do feel that Aston Villa, O'Mari can do something with that Villa squad, and I want to have someone there. And Ramsey, it looks like he's been given a more attacking role. So even though I don't play him this one, he'll probably be on my bench and something to work on. Haaland is there, of course. Then Darwin, who I feel as the Liverpool attacker that I want rather than Salah. And he's been doing well with friendlies, and he also got kicked out of in the group stages of the World Cup. And Tony, for the reasons that I mentioned earlier, I think he can push on, and we did talk about how Tony can score against the big teams anyway, against City the other day. Okay, so that's it. Then I mentioned Ward, Andreas. Williams is there again because of price, and the non-play Macarena is there. But I the thing is, looking back at our earlier discussion, I think I may need to tweak it to ensure that I have 3 playing substitutes on my bench, because I think you're right. I think we're going to need those substitutes given the congestion.
Do you have money in the bank?
No, not really. It's quite tight there.
Actually, if I see your initial, I think I like the setup. I like the Robertson pick. I will understand the Pope pick. Actually, I think he's could be the one for you to keep for the rest of the season, and not to think about, because Newcastle could be the best team, especially in defense. And if you have most people will have Trippier, but they might not have Pope. So when you double up, then you have more points on that when Newcastle actually don't concede any goals. And Ramsey is the one between Andreas. I know Ramsey, you do not have money, but maybe you can save some bit of money. Ramsey is around 5.2, 5.3. Maybe you go down to Bailey 4.5, and then you can save some money and add to that Mascara budget
Yeah.
and get
I want.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
I did know in Bailey, but for some reason I haven't looked at in game week 16. He didn't start. He only came in as a sub. So I just need to figure out why and whether or not it's safe for him.
I think
So yeah,
that Carabao Cup will give you an indication, maybe. Then
yeah.
I think
Uh,
you're pretty much team setup, and you have clearer mind than us at least, because you have KDB. You know Salah
uh,
is not the one that you want to have. KDB is, and then you still have Liverpool attackers in the form of Darwin.
mm, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, great stuff. Afos, you want to say anything?
No, I like the overall pick,
Okay.
especially Robertson over DA. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
So unfortunately, I couldn't find a space for Rashford or
Mm.
Rashford. Yeah, Rashford is the one I could possibly want there instead of Ramsey. But yeah, I need to find money, so I
yeah,
don't know where that's gonna come from because
exactly.
obviously
That's
those
gonna be
forward
tough.
spots, those forward three slots, I'm pretty confident. So I can't fit Marshall
I
anywhere
think
there.
if you want Rashford at that Ramsey spot, you need to sacrifice Robertson. That I can see,
No,
or maybe
I
Cancelo if
think
you
you
want.
need to sacrifice De Bruyne if Foden starts.
Yeah.
Okay,
Not
we shall
it's
see.
something to think about. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, yep, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, first we go to your team.
yeah. The team pretty much template where we see all over Twitter trying to set up, especially for the double game week. Just that the keeper I Pickford over Kepa because the moment I saw Kepa is doubtful, but we'll see whether or not he plays in the Carabao Cup. So then only I'll make the final decision. Another thing for keeper, I might go with Ramsdale because yeah, even though Chelsea have double game week, but I don't feel that confidence in Chelsea's performance, especially the defensive line. Because early season we all have Reece James, but turns out Chelsea keeps on conceding goals. Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I might have Ramsdale from Arsenal instead. So for defenders, I tried to double up Newcastle because Newcastle had good defense performance before a World Cup break. Um, if I would need to rotate and play double defend from Newcastle, I might. But Botman is just for the sake of, if there's any rotation and if one of the defenders like maybe Gabriel or Cancelo got rested or whatnot. So maybe those Portman will come in the main squad to have that Newcastle double defenders. Another thing, Dalot just now mentioned when you asked me about Manchester United. Yeah, Dalot the one got me excited because you see he did quite well during the World Cup with Portugal. But at the moment I saw his latest, he's doubtful, he's yellow, but I'm not sure whether or not that will last. Then we go to midfield. Yeah, the one that upsets me the most is Foden because the
Okay.
moment before World Cup we swapped KDB to Foden and then somehow Pep Roulette happens. Foden did not start. Foden got benched and also Foden did not play at all. But he plays quite well during World Cup in England, I would say. Um, Martinelli, of course, we will want to drop him. Salah, Salah is the one player that, yeah, of course, Liverpool will continue to perform and Salah will continue to perform. Almiron, I will not make a second mistake again. I'll
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Even though he had a good run before World Cup, so at the price below 6.0, I'll just have him as in the midfield spot. And the last one is forward, the Darwin, Allen, and Mitrovic. I think pretty much set those three. Mitrovic might go with Ivan Tony, but Mitrovic is slightly cheaper and have good fixtures throughout the whole season. But yeah, we'll see how.
Yeah,
And
I think
then
I
bench
understand.
pretty much settled there.
I think I understand the pick Mitrovic over Tony. If let's say we're talking about game week 19 coming up, double fixture for Fulham, so
Exactly.
just set up for that. Okay, but maybe a bit of cautious. I also made note of the Mitrovic is on 4 yellow cards,
Yeah.
so it can happen any time soon that he could be carded. You never know, right? Carded 18 and then he missed one of the game week 19 fixture. So that's one thing that we need to be careful. Okay.
And
Other
then
than that,
and
I
then
think
scores
the
the
one that
and
said
then
this.
scores the brace in the one match.
Yeah, the one that's repeat the same mistake with Ivan Tony.
so that something that we should put into our mind. Pickford is I actually overlook him. He's 4.5 and Everton can be a decent side if let's say Lampard can steady Everton defense, especially with Cody and also Tarkowski at the heart of the defense. So maybe he's the one if I say Kepa is not fit like you mentioned. Okay. Other than that, this pretty much template, right? Of course. My team,
Yeah, pretty much template.
my team also almost like this, but for the sake of this stream, I'll make some tweaks so we can have some debate on it. But pretty much this is the template that people were gonna have. Foden, Cancelo, Haaland, triple up Man City. Okay. We go to my team. I just do something different for our discussion, but this could be the one that people are exploring. Premium, right? Fitting Salah, Kane, and Haaland. Okay, so as my keeper combo, I have Kepa and Watt. If let's say Chelsea, Kepa confirm is going to be starting with Chelsea coming right up, game week 19 double game week fixture. Kepa is definitely the one that cheapest road coming into Chelsea defense. Okay, and then partnering with Watt. Then I have James there in my mind. If maybe Chelsea are not still uncertain, but James is coming back already in training. We saw clips he's scoring during his training, and his price dropped to 5.8 right now. And
Yeah.
as much as we can see, I want to be in the front foot in terms of Chelsea fixture. If let's say they have the fixture, but okay, Forest and then Leicester somewhere in that. Fulham in that double game week 19. Then if let's say Chelsea are not performing, you can just drop them after that. Okay, I can by having James, I will not afford Cancelo and Akanji 5 million. Maybe he's the one that I can actually get into Man City defense. Akanji looks like a permanent fixture for Man City, but now Stones, Diaz, Laporte is coming back, so maybe there's some risk of rotation. But Akanji is 5 million. Trippier will be there. Everyone will have him. I have Salah there instead of Foden. I have Rashford. I feel I want to take advantage. I trust Manchester United to an extent. Rashford could be the one that we might want to take advantage. If let's say Manchester United does not perform, we still have time to change him to somewhere else and maybe take advantage to get a Chelsea midfielder in game week 19, the likes of Mount, say 7.5. If you want to be ready, if let's say Manchester United, the likes of Rashford are not performing, Almira and Martinelli will stay there. And Kane, Mitrovic, and Haaland. If we don't go for Darwin, the likes what people are going the training right now, going downwards, we're not sure who gonna be, and maybe the weight is actually going up with Kane. But that's the road that we can go. Kane, as we mentioned in the deck just now, the top two players scoring right now. So maybe those are the option, and the bench is pretty much everyone have. Andreas Dalot, Peterson at 4 million. Maybe he's back, and maybe he could be an option replacing the inconsistent or uncertain Nico Williams spot. So, what do you think?
I like the fact that you managed to get you do have Rashford there together with Haaland and Salah. I'm not sure. The Kane thing is
Understand?
a question. I thought about Kane but decided I don't think I'm ready.
But maybe
Honestly.
we need put much more consideration because Kane has burned us for the first game week 16. To be fair, and seeing this squad, if you have more team value than me, you can actually afford I can give a better a
Okay.
Cancelo, or you don't trust James, you can change to somewhere else like White, and you can have this team.
Yeah, yep. I think the James thing is something that I definitely need to consider moving as we head near the deadline. Simply because I mean, in your case, you've got four double gamers, potential double gamers there in Kepa, James, Mitro, and Andreas. So that's so you kind of set for that, and I just need to be a bit more confident of that Chelsea thing. So
Understand?
let's see what Team News pulls up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Mason Mounts. James is still the first option for me in terms of
Okay.
going for a
Maybe I
Chelsea.
just put another caveat. Kane also on 4 yellow cards. So
I totally forgot.
we just won't know, right? Maybe Kane has potential in game week 20 double game week, right? But if he got any yellow card before that, then he could actually be in the same boat as Mitrovic. So this could be a risky pick, but he could deliver. So those are the team draft so far, but I must agree, I might go to template like Afor's team, but I want Rashford instead of Foden for the first two weeks, 17, 18, and see how it goes.
I just have a question. Is Patterson a confirmed first choice now, though?
We need to check. I think Lampard favor him or over Coleman. What do you
Yeah,
think,
because
Afos?
Yeah, I think so. He start quite number. Let's see. Patterson.
So if he's
Yeah,
confirmed in terms of coming back from injury, I think he's the first choice over Coleman. That's what I
okay.
think.
yeah, I think so too. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
okay.
I think that's all for this stream. We shall take some of the question, but there's a lot of question here. We jump straight to this question. Some people might have Zaha and want to keep in this unlimited transfer. What do you think, Azmin?
Well, apparently he's been tearing it up in friendlies in the middle of the World Cup. So I guess you can keep Zaha, especially if you're very cheap. The matchups are not bad, I suppose. But Fulham and Bournemouth, after that it gets dicey with Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United. But for the first two, definitely there's a potential there. So you may want to keep.
Okay. Right. Next question for Afos. Rashford and Martial combo. Avoid or buy? What do you think?
Oh, that is the interesting considering that this week is against Nottingham without Dean Henderson. If you like that 1 week fun, I would think either one, but I'm not sure whether I wanted to have both. I would prefer Rashford instead because Rashford is slightly cheaper than Martial, if I'm not mistaken. Also, he plays at the midfield in terms of FPL, and also Nottingham Forest considered a lot at the wing area, so it might be a good chance for Rashford.
All
I'll
right.
say bye.
Okay. I go to you, Azmin. Which more efficient pair or a good combo? Kepa Watt or Iverson Watt, which we can save some money for Leicester goalkeeper
Nah,
section.
I've never been a Iverson Watt pairing fan. I don't like relying on just one just because they're cheap. And I still have my doubts about Leicester, and I really think that goalie is going to get battered by Newcastle this weekend. So, for example, I go for Kepa Watt.
All right. Of course, if you're thinking one of the Arsenal defender, who would you go, Saliba or Gabriel?
Yeah, both about the same price bracket, 5.2 and 5.3. But I think I'll pick Gabriel.
All right, Gabriel, and he's not going for the World Cup, so he should be ready, up and running Well, Saliba, maybe he's not playing, but he's with France squad until the final, right?
Oh, that's
So
right.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
so he might not, in terms of fitness or coming back into the team, he will take some time back. Next question, with Sessegnon still injured, okay, I'm not sure about this, and Perisic need a rest, do we should think about Doherty into Spurs squad,
The question is whether or not Spurs will get attacking returns. So if you feel they are, then definitely go, because they are not going to keep a clean sheet in that match. I'm quite confident of that. So yeah, so yeah, Doherty will still play. So if you feel that he's going to get attacking return, then yeah.
All right. Okay, if money is not an issue, would you go both Bruno Fernandes and Rashford? I feel Bruno Fernandes will be on set pieces and potentially penalty, of course.
Yeah, I agree. So, but yeah, at the moment, if money is not issue, I'll still pick Rashford. I still pick Rashford because um, in terms of attacking wise, the front three, even though Anthony Martial is up top, Rashford is the better finisher, I would say. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
still pick Rashford.
Okay, we shall see. Once Bruno scored brace, then we will think again of this option. Azmin, Salah, Foden, or Mount KDB. Wow, KDB is your player. So are you tempted with this combo?
That's a shocking choice. Hard. I can't figure that one out. Bloody hell. Damn it, right? I can't feel you. I can't decide that one. It's so
I
hard.
think the template Salah Foden. Okay, people see
Salah
Angel,
Foden, yeah.
but
I
KDB
think
and
that's
Mount is
purely on the basis of Mount has been very inconsistent this season for Chelsea by definition. So yeah, so Salah Foden is the safer choice. But if we think that Chelsea can mount find their way, or Potter's found the solution, then Mount KDB can be explosive if yeah.
okay. Fair. Of course, another question about Mitrovic against over Martial. Which one you're interested to have in your Game Week 17 team?
Uh, Marshall or Mitrovic.
Martial slightly lower than 7, Mitrovic 6.9, below 7 also, right?
Yeah, both are below 7. Um,
Would you rather have Martial first and then switch to Mitrovic in Game Week 19?
yeah, maybe if you like that kind of setup, you wanted to take advantage of one game week and then straightly jump for the double game week option, then yeah, why not? But if you looking at the whole setup for slightly longer term, I would pick Mitrovic instead.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, before World Cup, it seems to be fixture proof. Yeah, I like Mitrovic at the long run.
Right. Next for Azmin, with one yellow card from suspension, like we mentioned, Mitrovic on 4 yellow cards. Could Mitrovic bring back Dennis Deja Vu all over again? Wow. This is from last year, right, Azmin?
The question. So yeah. So the thing is, I think we should not worry so much about that specter if it's just as long as you don't go overboard with players on 4 yellow cards, having Mitrovic, having Kane,
Okay.
and who's the other guy? There's one other person with yellow. I can't remember. But yeah, so if it's just one person, I think it's worth risking. You can have a bench that can deal with any suspension, and and honestly, if I think it's worth keeping Mitrovic in game week 19, even if he picks up that fifth yellow card in game week 18. I think there's no harm because I think he can return.
Okay, fair. Last question for Afos. Rakan FPL is talking about strategy right now. Triple United assets first before go for Fulham and Spurs asset, which they play in double game week in 20 and 19 later. So what do you think? Should we put all the eggs in United basket?
I'm not sure about triple up, but double up can put into consideration Rashford and Martial. I'm not sure whether triple up is a good choice.
So maybe he's
Even though
thinking like
I say United,
Dalot, Rashford, and Martial, is it?
probably Dalot have good performance in World Cup. Yeah, not, maybe I'm not sure. Even as a United fan, also I've doubt in their performance.
We shall see.
I just because United's double game week is it game week 19, is it?
Manchester United. I don't think United
No,
play double game week. No.
They don't.
Other-
Okay,
They don't.
I must
They
have
don't.
misread it. Yeah.
Maybe just wanted to take advantage against the.
But I think we heard rumors that talking about why Manchester United do not have fixture in game week 20. I suppose they could actually announce later, but I'm not sure. That
That's
could
the
be
FA Cup if there's a replay lah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that can come later, but certainly they are not announced yet so far. Okay, I think we already come to the end of the stream. 1 hour and almost 30 minutes. First game week 17 FPL returns. We are really catch up on this. I thought like maybe we can do like below 1 hour, but when talking about FPL Jedi show, we definitely want to deliberate wherever that we can to ensure that we cover
Especially
all
after a
aspects.
long break.
After a long break. Okay, I think it's
That's right.
timely. We still have like 1 week more before we finalize the game week 17 deadline. Will be on Monday. Okay, I think we try to do a deadline streaming on Monday. We shall see. I'll be on holiday next week, but we try to do a quick deadline stream before I go off, and then game week 19 somewhere end of this year, right? December. So maybe we can do that.
21st.
And then
It's
2nd
good.
January, game week
It's good.
19. So it's really back-to-back things that we need. But we already have really one month break. We should be able to
should
do
be
this.
fun.
Okay, your last word first, Afos.
Yeah, my last word. Keep an eye on the lineup for Carabao Cup. We'll see that who's going to start game week 17 and who's going to perform. Whether or not those teams and those players continue their form before the World Cup, and have fun playing fantasy.
All right. Okay. Azmin, your last word.
Oh yeah. Looking forward. So again, as you say, 1 week. I didn't realize it was still 1 week away, almost a week away. But we get one more weekend where we can really trash out and see where the players at, and as what Afas mentioned lah, the Carabao Cup, there'll be an fallout from that one, so we have to watch.
All right. Thank you guys for joining this stream. I hope you had a lot of knowledge from this session, and you can set up your team before game week 17 deadline. Until then, see you again. Take care. Bye bye.